There are lots of situations, such as illness or needing to go back to school, which will cause a person to have to leave their job. And it's rather painless. You just let management know and they're usually okay with it, and then you're gone, off to other things. But what about those times when you're in a job day in and day out and you have that feeling in the pit of your stomach, maybe you should possibly leave your job, but you never actually go through with it? But there are some big red flags that you should pay attention to if that's the case. Maybe the company itself is heading in a downward spiral. The company is losing money and customers and there are rumors of layoffs. You might have wanted to get out of there yesterday. Maybe you've had a big life change like a new marriage or a new baby and your company just doesn't support the promotion for your new availability or your new salary that you need for this big life change. Maybe the stress level you have from this job is so high that it's affecting you psychologically and physically. Stress is a very slippery slope. Maybe you've behaved in a way that's considered improper at work, maybe you missed a couple days, maybe you're late all the time and you don't feel like your relationship with your manager will ever be fixed. Maybe your personal values differ from the values of the company or from corporate culture as a whole. I had a friend who worked for American Eagle and she hated how she always had to upsell and sell expensive things to people who didn't necessarily need them. She quit her job and she is much happier now. And maybe, just maybe, you've quit having fun and enjoying your job. It doesn't matter what's changed. If you dread waking up in the morning and going to work, it is time to quit. And if any of these reasons are true, you have two options. One, you can suck it up and keep going, or two, you can leave. Most people toy with the idea of quitting, but they have rent, bills, food, services which need to be paid. And you're probably not in the position to become unemployed, but let me tell you about a situation that happened to me. A few years ago, I was working for a company. I think I was there about 2.5 years, and the store decided that they wanted to go through a remodel, and I was asked if I wanted to be on the remodel team. I would get a little bit more money. The hours would be drastically different, though. I had to be there at 5:45 in the morning and work until about 2 or 3 every single day, and I agreed to that. And things were going really well for a couple weeks until one morning I woke up at 3 a.m. very sick. Now, company policy is that you needed to call ahead at least an hour before your scheduled shift and it would be okay. And it was 3, I had to be there at 5:45. I was calling 2.5 hours before my scheduled shift because I knew the way that I was feeling, I was not going anywhere at all that day. So I called at 3 a.m. and I talked to the night manager who didn't know who I was because his shift always ended at 6 and I always started at 5:45, so we never really had any interactions. But he said that he would mark down for my manager that I called ahead and said that I was not coming in. I went back to bed and then I called my actual manager at 6 just to make sure that he got word that I was not coming in that day, and he said everything was fine and to feel better. Flash forward to about a week and a half later, I was running a bit late to work. I was coming from Pittsburgh to my place of employment, which is about 3.5 hours. It was a very late night drive, but I called my manager on my way there and said, hey, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there about 15-20 minutes late. He said, that's fine, everything's cool, just be here when you get here, don't speed, blah blah blah, that whole thing. So the next day I get called in my store director's office and I get told that they have to let me go because I had shown up a couple minutes late to my shift, and because that day that I called in sick, they had it marked as a no-call, no-show. Not that I actually called. And for those of you that don't know, a no-call, no-show means that I didn't bother telling anybody that I wasn't coming into work, I just didn't show up. Not at all. But I did call. I told her I called the night manager a little before 3:30 and then I called my actual manager at 6 and he said that everything was easy peasy. I'm paraphrasing. So she called my actual manager in and she told him what I told her. And he basically said that I didn't call in at all that day, that I was marked as a no-call, no-show, that I didn't call and talk to the night manager, I didn't call and talk to him. This escalated to the point where over the next few weeks there was an appeal for me to get my job back, multiple hearings with multiple higher-ups who I had never met before, and ultimately they cross-referenced phone records and saw that I actually did call the store for a few minutes at a time, which means I talked to somebody, so I won, I got my job back, and what did I do to celebrate? I went in the next day and quit my job. But Travis, you fought so hard for your job and you won. Isn't that what you wanted? What I wanted was to not work for a company who wouldn't believe in my integrity as a person. And if they were trying so hard to get me fired, nope, I wasn't going to stick around for that. And you know what? It may not have been a very careful decision on my part. This company had a 401k. I was paying my bills. I actually liked the customer service aspect because I was working with things that I actually enjoyed. And you know what? Quitting that job actually helped me as a person, because when you quit a job with 0 options to fall back on, you have nothing to do but force yourself to pursue all of these challenges. Just push yourself through all the problems to find a solution. That's all you can do. Well, While searching for a new job, you'll find a sense of persistence that you didn't even know you had or were capable of. When you look at your friends who have all these great jobs, don't trick yourself into thinking that you won't get a happy ending. You're just not there yet. You just need a bit of a push. While you're slaving away at a job you hate, wasting all of these precious days you have left, you're passing up all of these opportunities that could be happening every single day. You just have to take them. So stop complaining about your job. I know as humans we love to complain about our boss, our salary, our vacation time, or lack thereof, but frankly, no one cares about your complaining. The simple fact of the matter is that there is only one person who can change your situation for the better. It's you. I'll see you guys later.